Hello everyone, welcome to week 4 in module 4 of the language and practice of media arts. What I want to do this week is deconstruct one of my favorite scenes from the film Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock was mentioned in the intro blurb for module 4 and for module 3, and so I thought I would use this as an example and show you how the master actually constructs the scene. And I can use this to demonstrate other elements for this week, including some of the visual elements that you will be filming for the discussion board, and also the shot list, which is due this week for your assignment. All right, so this is a great scene to analyze. Often for Psycho, you see a lot of storyboards and scripts and shot lists and analyzing of the shower scene. I'm not going to do that for this class, but this is actually a scene that's not analyzed as much, but I think it's just as brilliant, and it demonstrates how Hitchcock is the master at using visual elements like point of view and cutting and editing to create tension. All right, first let's see the whole scene. I'll show you the setup of the scene, and then I will start breaking it down and show it a few more times. The story here is pretty self-evident. The shower scene has already happened. Norman Bates has the body of the woman that his mother has just killed, or the audience thinks it was his mother, and the body's in the trunk. There's $50,000 in the trunk, but Norman Bates doesn't know that. The audience knows that. The audience has already seen the shower scene, and they are really amped up and expecting anything at this point. All right, so let me play the scene, and you'll get the gist of it. And this is called the sinking Marion's car scene, or the car sinking scene. Okay, so that's the scene. You get the general flow of the action there. The part of the scene that I want to break down starts at about 046, when it first establishes what's called a point of view shot, and show you exactly how many shots he does this. First of all, I wanted to point out how he sets the point of view. This is typically called a point of view shot, where you show a frontal shot of the character, which then switches to what he sees. It usually takes 2 shots to set up a point of view shot. You can use more, but typically it requires 2 in the common language of cinema. Okay, the shot lengths are pretty short. Let me start at 046 and count the shots, or actually the cuts here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that's important. It's not until the 8th cut that the sound of the burbling car goes out. And that's one of the things that you're not doing for this week, is analyzing the sound. But I wanted to mention that because I made some comments in some of your videos, or actually your scripts about sound and the difference between internal sound and external sound, and so on. The sound here, try to think of all the different sounds that are in here. Okay, you have sounds of crickets, you have the sound of the wind in the trees, you have the sound of the gurgling car, which is very important. Okay, and probably a couple of other sounds that some of you might notice. There's no music. Hitchcock chose not to put music on this for a reason, even though there's soundtrack on other parts of the movie. There's no sound here except what is called the diegetic sound. Diegetic meaning that it's in the story, it's what the character is hearing, versus non-diegetic sound, which is the soundtrack or what the audience hears. Okay, so it's all diegetic sound in this part of the film, and it's right here at the 8th cut that the sound goes off, and that creates a lot of tension. So now all you hear are the crickets. So that's very important. On your scripts, you would put that in audio as on cut 8, the sound of the gurgling car stops. That was very important. That's an important part of the scene that creates tension. He actually took sound away there. Okay. So anyway, that's diegetic versus non-diegetic sound. And another thing is, with this use of cutting, it illustrates something from your text in chapter 5, where they talk about form, film form, all right, and form and expectations. Hitchcock, by showing you 7 cuts of the car going down in his point of view, you expect the car to keep sinking. So, by clip 8, he disrupts those expectations by having the car stop gurgling. Oops. That creates a lot of tension, and it worked very well. When this film was first shown, people were already, again, very anxious. They were expecting anything. And at this point in the film, people were actually yelling at the screen, telling Norman, hey, the car's not going down, push it down. Or they were screaming at the screen, there's money's in the car, and stuff like that. So the audience was very much affected by this. Why does this have anything to do with 30-second ads? Well, you will find that advertisers use these techniques constantly, especially when they're using stories in their ads. And these are some of the typical ways that you can create tension. Okay, this video is already getting a bit long, so I'm going to make separate little videos to demonstrate visual elements, composition, and lighting, and then a brief demonstration of the shot list. Okay.